It's 3 a.m, central London.
Morning, boys. How we doing? Morning, Des.
Whilst the city sleeps, a troop of Royal Marines and their support team are assembling outside the Cenotaph near the Houses of Parliament.
I need in your running order, that's the direction of travel. 2, 2, 2, 2. Everybody else move away from their kit because it's going to need to be weighed. Thank you.
In an hour from now, these 8 men, all Royal Marines commandos, are going to attempt the impossible. They are going to try to break what some think is an unbreakable world record. And it's not for the faint-hearted. That's why they'll be accompanied throughout by a fully equipped ambulance and rapid reaction paramedics.
Okay, nice gentle walk over to me.
What these Marines are about to attempt is so extreme that normal human beings would simply not survive the physical effort required. Their hearts would explode.
Okay, that's how we're doing, good? Yeah. Okay, you know, I know you're all chomping at the bits. I can see it in you. However, let's keep composed and let's keep the excitement for the end, okay? And I have utmost confidence in us as a team, all right? So let's have a nice gentle jog, just gentle warm up.
Very soon now, these 8 men will embark on a journey that will take them to the very edge of hell. The day started 2 hours ago at 1 a.m, and the Marines assembled for final briefings and a very big breakfast. They knew they would need every calorie they could consume. So what is it they're attempting?
It is relatively flat, yeah. Okay.
Major Scotty Mills has trained a team of 8 men to try and break the world speed marching record.
Okay, first of all, this is the entire route, all right? This is the time, distance, speed on a matrix.
That means running a full marathon, 26.2 miles in combat gear, with each man carrying 40 pounds of weight on his back. But vitally, they must run as a team throughout.
So 8 lads have got to start and 8 lads finish. They're all carrying 40 pounds of equipment, which is very heavy. And make no mistake, this is as hard a world record as some of those at the Olympic Games. We've got to dedicate and train ourselves like Olympic athletes. And as far as mental challenges are concerned, this one is right up there.
The current world record of 4 hours, 19 minutes and 7 seconds held by the Royal Artillery has stood for 20 years. So this morning, nobody's in any doubt about what's expected. It's all for one and one for all.
Any other questions?
No.
Loads of chirp, keep them going, wake them up. I think we've got to pretty much get ready to go pretty much now. So. Just shake it out a little bit. Just change direction a couple of times as you're running, bearing in mind it's a bit wet on the floor.
This world record attempt is definitely very military driven. You know, Royal Marines' values of determination, grit, cheerfulness in the face of adversity when it's 3:15 in the morning, and will definitely be tested today. But we all come together as a team, and we'll have it in the bag.
Those shoulders off now into breaststroke, nice and fast.
This is it. We've got lots of characters and different chemistry mixes in the team, so you've got plenty of things to think about with the conversations and the noises, you know, around you to occupy yourself.
You're up for it?
Of course. Gonna go
for the weigh-in?
Yeah, thank you.
So, the final checks on weight. Strictly 40 pounds per man, not an ounce more or less. It's now 4 a.m. precisely.
Commando, marathon speed march team up to attention.
8 men, fully laden, wait the order to set off.
By the way, quick march. Still time! Come on! March!
So this is our third attempt. First time we were good, second time we were great, but this time we've got to be better than great.
Okay, stay on me, mate. Okay, nice and gently. Nice and gently. Great bit of humour to start with, love to see that. Cool and calm, confident all the way through. That's the theme of today.
The first time the Marines tried to break the world record of 4 hours, 19 minutes and 7 seconds was in 2012. That time, starting in daylight, they even got a send-off by the Prime Minister outside number 10.
Can I wish you all the very best of luck with what you're undertaking today. I think it is an incredible thing that you're doing, for attempting this record marathon with 40 pounds on your back. It's going to be tough in this weather, but as far as you can, have a hooping good time on your run.
The Marines pushed themselves to their limits, but came in 2 minutes over world record time. It was a bitter disappointment. Not to admit defeat, they tried again a year later.
Heads up, come on, let's go. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
In 2013, we made a valiant attempt, and we turned what was a good team into a great team. But in fact, we broke the world record time.
The team had given their all and been rewarded with a time that shaved nearly a minute off the 20-year record.
How are you feeling? Absolutely elated. It's fantastic. Awesome. Yeah, positive. It's all about determination, cheerfulness, teamwork, everything. We nailed it.
Well, brilliant.
But there had been a problem, and it was up to Scotty to break some shattering news.
Ladies and gents, thanks very much for coming down to support us. I'm quite emotional, but I'm so proud of these lads. Unfortunately, we lost one of our members in the last half mile.
Dave Terrill collapsed and almost died on the tarmac. That moment when he collapsed was a difficult one for me, because he'd pushed himself beyond the limit of what was humanly possible for him. It was down to me to decide what to do. I had the paramedics with me and I had a consultant doctor as well, and I took one look at Dave. It was a very easy decision for me not to think about picking him up and carrying him, but to get him the emergency treatment he needed. He's one of my brothers. I've served in Iraq with Dave, and there's no way that I would put his life unnecessarily at risk.
The rules, according to Guinness World Records, clearly state that for speed marching, every man who starts a race has to finish. Otherwise, the time is void. Dave Perrott, the man who fell with half a mile to go, is back tonight to cheer on the team. But he'll never forget that terrifying moment back in 2013.
I nearly died. I just ran myself into the ground. I didn't have anything left at all, and my brain just switched off. I do think about it quite a lot.
You're still rooting for the lads though?
Yeah, just really want to see them get in. I've got a great feeling I really think they're going to do it today.
So, there's a really emotional background to tonight's world record attempt. But none of the runners will be thinking about past failures. They'll be focusing on the task in hand and preparing themselves for what is to come.
When we set off, I'm expecting to feel sort of a bit of a surge of adrenaline. The first couple of miles, it'll just be the guys kind of settling into it, getting into the pace of things. Running's one thing on its own. Trying to adding 40 pounds to someone's back, it takes its toll in more ways than one. So as the event goes on, that weight, what was 40 pounds to start with, suddenly feels like 50 pounds, feels like 60 pounds, 20 miles down the line. When that weight's just bearing on your back, it just feels heavier and heavier and heavier. The rest of your body's getting fatigued, so your mind's playing tricks on you, and it just feels heavier every single step of the way.
Keep whatever space you need to.
is always going to be dangerous on the body. You know, just normal marathons, that length of time, that sort of high intensity on your body is going to be dangerous.
No problems at all.
But then doing that with 40 pound on your back as well adds another risk. It can cause you some serious, serious harm.
We've got to go beyond where the Marines have never gone before. We are going to take ourselves to the nth degree.
Just stay in the blue bus lane.
The height of our mental capacity, the height of our training capability to smash, annihilate this world record.
Bit of awareness for drains or holes.
You know, we've got to do it all together. We can't fail one another.
Undoubtedly, we're going to have to go to a dark place, which many of us probably have never been to before. So I think it's going to take a lot of grit, a lot of determination, perseverance, and yeah, so we'll see what we've got.
Okay, all looking good so far, no problem. Nice and steady.
Eight Royal Marines are trying to break the team world speed marching record. That's a full marathon with each man carrying 40 pounds on his back.
Speed marching is absolutely fundamental to Royal Marines within combat, regardless of what terrain you're in. You can't have vehicles everywhere. The terrain that you're in, you know, might be not feasible for vehicles. So you need to get a group of blokes from one area to the next as a body of men in uniform. And it's not just about the speed across the ground that speed marching allows. You know, every time you finish a speed march, you shouldn't be coming across the line absolutely flaked. You should be coming across the line ready to get in a fight. The speed march gets you to the start line of the fight, and then you've got the fight, which is the hard bit.
We're heading straight for that in single file. The threat as we move across there is obviously to the left, so be aware of that.
So yeah, it's not just the case of getting from A to B in a set time with the weight in the heat. It's you are potentially going to be getting shot at.
Get down into cover. Get down into cover.
That gets bred into you from an early stage. So, you know, regardless of the distance that you're doing, regardless of the terrain, you need to be fit enough so that when you get to the finish line, that's not the finish, that's the start.
What are we running at here? 9:45 pace. Right on your race pace now, perfect.
Take section on me! Fine, right over our head.
We win as bootnecks, as Royal Marines, because we don't give up. Like the Falklands in '82, you know, the 56 miles they did over 3 days, you know, I think that's a fantastic, you know, tribute to them.
The Royal Marines yomp across the Falklands to help take back Port Stanley from the Argentinians has gone down in legend.
Well, they got to the objective, and the Argentinians thought it was absolutely impossible that anybody could possibly cover that ground in that time with that weight. Well, the Royal Marines did it. It was that determination, and it was that resilience to do something that was totally unexpected that actually won the day. Our speed march, this time, we'll be thinking back to the guys from the Falklands, our brothers, our forefathers who have gone before us. And that's a source of inspiration to us.
I've got us on 9:47 pace. Okay, it's about 4 minutes to your hydration stop. Hey mate, let's have a quick watch check. I've got 5.87 miles, 9:45 average pace.
The Falklands War was gut-wrenching, hard, yomping, huge amounts of kit and equipment, terrible terrain. Whereas, if you look at Afghanistan, Certainly in the early years, that was more kinetic. Faster movement, shooting, firing, closing with the enemy. But even that changed. IEDs were laid down. Improvised explosive devices meant that we were conducting slower, more deliberate movement. Still an extreme challenge in extreme heat, up to 50 degrees. Carrying huge amounts of kit and equipment.
So yeah, I mean, Afghan in 2011, I was based down in a place called Toki, which we knew was going to be highly contested when we went there. There was a lot of contact areas they were coming at us from, and unfortunately due to the sort of lay of the land, they could get quite close to our checkpoint. So they were using that to their advantage for laying IED belts and stuff like that.
You could be the best soldier in the world, and unfortunately you could still get hurt. A lot of the lads that have been injured or killed are very experienced lads, very good soldiers. And yeah, with this IED threat, it is a numbers game. There's not really many drills that you can do to stop that from happening. It's guerrilla warfare.
So there are different sorts of speed marching. Some of it fast and furious, some of it slow and meticulous. Either way, it's at best exhausting and at worst back-breaking.
You need to keep on top of your fitness whilst you're out there. I mean, you are on patrol every day, you know, for 6, 8, 12 hours a day. We didn't exactly have a fully fledged gymnasium going on, but we improvised massively. We just got some sandbags that we filled up, got some ammo containers that we filled up with sand, and we'd improvise with, you know, bodyweight circuits or, you know, very basic bits of kit that we could make to use as weights, and then just do shuttle runs up and down the little vine field that we had in our checkpoint. Yeah.
Get down! You got to move. You got to move.
Hey, Jay, you up?
The thing is, when you are under contact, is you've got such a burst of adrenaline. So your adrenaline keeps you pushing, you know, and again, it's working for the bloke next to you, working for the bloke to the side of you, because if you give up, there's potential that they're going to be hurt, so you have to keep pushing, and that all, you know, goes hand in hand with this challenge.
That's an uphill bit, the only real uphill bit we've got, okay? That's at the 10.5 mile point in about 3/4 of a mile.
I'm going to be constantly monitoring them every mile, every step, all the way, so that we can understand exactly what situation we're in.
Kensington High Street, daylight still evades us.
I'm going to be speaking to them. I know London very well, I'm a Londoner, so at various points you might even see me giving them a little bit of London history about some of the landmarks.
Left turn's about 1/4 of a mile. That'll take us up toward Notting Hill, Paddington area. Proper poshies. Middle class rugby supporting brigade. Bless him.
He knows his trivia of London, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, he was brought up in South London, and he does give you some strange, wondrous facts.
As we turn right, you'll see Hyde Park to the right-hand side, and Kensington Gardens. Everybody finding the pace okay? Yeah. Okay, that's great. Let's keep it going, Ron Reeds. Remember who we are, no problem. Cool and calm, confident.
Scotty. Yeah, he's just glad to be here. He's usually at the front, but he just loves a laugh and giggle.
And you can hear him yabbering on at the back, but not much goes in their head.
And he just doesn't shut up.
Nice and steady. In about half a mile, we're going to go down Park Lane at the bottom. It's Hyde Park Corner where we've already been once today. They've got the Battle of Britain Bomber War Memorial there, which there was a load of hoo-ha about a few years ago. I will show it to you when we go past, because I'm that sort of chap. Good effort, lads, well done, keep it going.
This is about inspiration, that human spirit, that endeavour, that willingness never ever to give in. Believe in yourself and anything is possible.
7 miles in, and they're just about on world record pace. But they have to keep this up for another 20 miles, and they're bound to get slower. And remember, if just one man fails, they all fail. The Royal Marines are now about a third of their way to their marathon speed march.
Okay, coming up to Marble Arch.
There is still a long way to go, but the pain is already beginning to bite. Speed marching, or yomping, is part of a Royal Marines DNA. It's bred in the bone from the beginning, as recruits embark on the longest and hardest military training in the world.
On the very first day of training, we build up a progressive program which includes speed marching. First of all, they do it in trainers. They put boots on without equipment. Then we build it up very gradually, increasing the distance from 4 to 6 to 9 miles, where this culminates in one of our commando tests at the end is the 9-mile speed march, where you have to carry your equipment, 21 pounds of kit and a 9-pound rifle. As a body of men, exactly the same as they did in the Falklands, the same they did in Afghanistan, and the same we'll be doing on this world record. I've seen young men's hearts broken by failure many times. I've seen some give up. I've seen some show that resilience and that willingness never to give up. And those are the ones that we want. We don't necessarily want the fastest, the fittest. The Royal Marines want the young men who are never, ever, ever going to give up.
Yeah, one of the Royal Marines' big attributes is determination. We've taken this determination to this next degree, this nth degree. You get through it because you don't give up, because you're determined. I can't emphasise how important that is.
I think he's trying to get in that lane and Steve's running in it. Okay, follow Steve's lane, I think.
That determination is a central pillar of the Royal Marines ethos. And with it comes loyalty, courage, unselfishness, and cheerfulness in the face of adversity. Virtues all Marines hold dear, and what is sustaining them tonight on the rain-soaked streets of London.
Racing line, doing well, 12.6 done, 2 hours 5.
But this commitment didn't just start tonight. They've been digging deep in preparation for the world record for the past year. In fact, many Marines tried out for the world record team, and every one of the final 8 chosen had to show just what he was made of.
Only the very best have come through the training, and we've spent as much time as we can together getting to know the ins and outs of how each other tick, bringing us ever closer so that when it comes to the crunch, and I'm sure that it will, there'll be a point where we need to dig from the very deepest of our reserves.
Okay, tree on the left, we'll break into quick time. Have a little walk out, let the body energy system just kick in a little bit.
And I know what will inspire the lads to go beyond their limit is the man to the left of them, the man to the right of them, who they've done this training with. Some of the team have put their lives on hold for this world record during the year of training that we've done this time around. Some have sacrificed holidays. 2 have sacrificed honeymoons. It means that much to the team. It means that much to them. It means that much to me. I'll do anything for these lads.
Okay, as we run in, just break yourself off and go and sort yourself out.
Brotherhood, or comradeship, is the lifeblood of any fighting force, whether they're faced with frontline combat or, as in this case, a seemingly impossible challenge.
Now that you're part of this team, you're in it. This is a team effort.
I mean, you guys have had a feel for this now. You see the level of preparation that's required because you guys have already been putting it in, which really appreciate because it gives us a real good start setting, a real good feel.
When we first met up, one of the first things that Scotty said to us was, have a reason why you're doing this. And I've never told anyone my reason why, but it is because, you know, I've done 2 really kinetic, high tempo operations in Afghanistan. And you sort of come back and you feel that it's just all everything's the same, everything's very slow paced. And I feel like I needed something to really aim for, to be nervous about and to focus on. And this seemed like the thing to do. So.
This is about the Royal Marines getting this world record. In my heart, that's what I feel as well. You know, we will move mountains to get this world record cracked.
Good effort, nice downhill stretch to come in a minute. Lovely bit, nice little shake out, bit of breeze in your face, enjoy.
One of the major elements to this event is it is a team event. To be able to get the world record, all 8 of us have to get across the line within the record time for it to stand. And I think that's playing on everybody's mind a little bit, just because, you know, you're thinking, I don't want to let this team down, I don't want to let these guys down. I hope it doesn't come to that. We'll get each other through.
This team has gone the next step from being a good team to a great team, from a great team to a world record team. What's the difference? Well, we made a conscious decision to get to know each other better and understand what drives us and why we're here.
I think everything boils down to Scotty at the end of the day. The lads, if you asked all 8 of us, everyone would turn around and say, you know, I'm not going to ever give up because Scotty needs this, and he needs it more than us 8.
Well, I've given a lot of my life to this. It's been 5 years. 5 years of endeavour. This means a huge amount to me. First attempt was in 2012, second attempt in 2013, and this is the third and my final attempt in 2017. The amount of people that I've met along the way, the amount of lives that we've affected positively, the amount of people that have come together as a core and as a family and as a team. This means a huge amount to us all, and to lead them means a huge amount to me.
I was never going to turn around to Scotty and say, sorry mate, I ain't doing it, you know, for whatever reason, because it would break his heart, and I know he needs it more than we do.
The 8 speed marchers now have their heads down. The challenge is really beginning to bite. Their calves and quads will be stiffening, and their backs beginning to rub raw with the weight. It's time for some of that famous Royal Marine cheerfulness in the face of adversity.
Anybody notice the rain stopped? Nice little downhill runner now.
But the team cannot afford to slow, or that record will be lost.
Get the breeze coming on.
Each man has a dedicated support runner who keeps him watered and supplied with glucose, caffeine tablets and energy gels. Without the support runners, this would be a totally impossible task.
Hyde Park is now right. Keep an eye out for the Gucci car sale showrooms in a minute. Down the left-hand side.
You know, on that day it's going to be not just where an individual is in terms of body and mind, but where the team are, and it's going to take all 8 of us on the day, and not just the 8 of us, you know, the support staff as well that are going to be there. Everybody's going to have to be in the right frame of mind at that particular point, 4 hours into a very grueling event, to be able to get us through.
The pressure is mounting, the pain is mounting, and yet everyone knows the worst is yet to come. The Royal Marines are halfway through their attempt to break the world record for a marathon speed march. The physical effort will be hurting more and more with each stride. It's mind over matter now, all the way.
You can get yourself physically fit enough to do it, as long as you put the hours in. It's whether you're mentally strong enough to keep pushing at the same pace. You need to
have that mental state of robustness. You know, when your legs are screaming and your shoulders are hurting from the weight and everything's feeling like you've got no energy left, it's your mind that will give you that extra push. You know, even if it's at the last 200 metres, mentally, you've got to go until you physically cross that white line.
Watch your footing, a little bit slippy.
How I deal with the pain when it gets to extreme levels is I embrace it. I say, you know, come on God, is this all you've got? When I'm going through this pain, I'm trying to record it in my mind, trying to save it for life because it doesn't happen every day.
Keep calm, keep cool, keep it going. On the mile. Great stuff, lads. Good effort.
Towards the latter stages, what I'm expecting is guys to go into their own zone, their kind of individual zone out a little bit. You'll find guys going within themselves a little, going to that dark place that I mentioned. And it's just a case of trying to put those emotions to one side. The Stoics used to call it apatheia. It's a school of thought where you're essentially just getting to grips with the task at hand. You put in anything you can control outside and you're just focusing on things you can control.
It's 6 a.m. After just over 2 hours hard running, they pass Buckingham Palace.
Don't shout too loud, you wake up, end up in the tower.
I'd certainly draw parallels between the Royal Marines and the Stoics. You know, same sort of hard mindset, you know, perseverance, determination, that kind of thing. It's just, yeah, it's instilled within us, and it was instilled within them thousands of years ago.
14 done, 14 miles cracked, 9:49 average. Looking good, boys.
Mens sana in corpore sano, Latin. It means sound in body, sound in mind, and it's the motto of the Royal Marines Physical Training Branch. Our physical training gets us to a point where we have that physical confidence so that we're mentally ready to push ourselves through to that limit of where we've been in training. We talk about train hard and fight easy. That's one of the mantras of the Royal Marines. We push ourselves to our limits and beyond in training. So on operations, when a similar situation comes up, we've been there already, and we know we can do it.
There are 18 painful miles behind them, but still they must run into the night. With every stride, the weight on their backs gets heavier. Scotty must now guide his runners through the remaining hours of darkness and towards the first light of dawn. He must drive them, but also encourage them, and he won't do it by shouting. Scotty will do it his way.
South part of central London, Westminster. Doing great. Crossing Victoria Street now. Named after Her Majesty, 1837 to 1901. Tank. I don't know what you're sitting on as an average, but I've got 9:49. We need to make sure we don't go any slower than 9:30. Okay, 9:30 pace, please. Okay, over 18 miles done. Okay, we're bang on time. Elephant and Castle, South London, capital of the world. Beautiful. Famous South Londoners, mostly sports people. Rio Ferdinand, Lennox Lewis, David Hay, mostly black, to be fair. Might get a twinge of sunlight in a minute. Fabulous effort, boys. This is the Lambeth Way. Any evening, any day, you'll find us all doing the Lambeth Walk. Oi! Caesar, easy. Go as you damn well pleasy. Why don't you make your way there, go there, stay there, and if you go down Lambeth Way, any evening or any day, you'll find them all doing the Lambeth Walk. Right, here you go.
Simon Cowell, what do you think?
Bit of sunlight kicking in. Great stuff, lads. How's the Parliament to our left? 6.6 miles to go. Looking good. Looking good. Keep calm. No problem. Keep that mentality. Fabulous effort so far. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Outstanding, lads. Keep talking to them then. Let's keep going. "21 miles.
The bulk of the miles are now behind them. But as with any marathon, it is in the last few miles that athletes hit the infamous wall. The point at which exhaustion can stop any runner dead in his tracks, even if they're not carrying 40 pounds on their back.
So toward the end of the event itself, I'm just expecting to be completely fatigued, physically and mentally. The guys have put so much effort into it. It'll just be, yeah, it will be worth it.
It's mile 22, just over 4 miles to go, but one speed marcher is already beginning to suffer. It's not immediately clear who it is, but the support runners are clearly concerned.
Is the caffeine shot?
Yeah, okay. Are these them?
No, it's like a little bottle shot.
Yeah, go.
Do you need more than one?
I think the hardest thing about it will be getting all 8 of you across the line instead of just one if you were doing it just on your own. But obviously speed marching is a team effort. It's not an individual effort, it's a team effort, and getting all 8 of you across the line is where the effort's going to have to be put. At mile 22, mile 23, if you're having a dark time and you feel, oh, this is it, I'm going to stop now, you're going to have to work together. You're going to have to make sure that when people are going through bad stages, you can help them out. When they're going through good stages, they can help other people out.
Hang in there, keep going now. Keep going, mate, keep going. Keep going, more water. Hang in there, boys. Just hang in there.
It's now apparent that the man suffering is Mags Maguire, the stoic.
Whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
He knew he'd be suffering at this stage, but right now, with just a mile to go, it looks like he might not make it. He's running on empty. Already, people are thinking back to 2013, when Dave Perrott collapsed in the last mile. Is history about to repeat itself?
People may be aware there's been previous mishaps, a mile to go, something happened. I know AJ, I've had my own thoughts, we've thought about dragging, he said about fine carrying a guy.
Last push, last push.
You can't leave that last man behind like we've always been taught.
It's downhill from here on in, okay? Just get them through now, Evo. Get alongside them, start pushing them. 1 mile to go, 1 mile, 1 mile.
The speed march philosophy of running behind, in front and next to someone throughout, I imagine that will have gone to pieces by then. We'll kind of just be winging it as a group, trying to get everybody over the line.
You're going to be close. Hang in there, boys, keep going.
Once you start the training with the lads and you get to know the lads, you actually start to do it for, well, I don't want to let Nick down, or I don't want to let Magsy down, or whoever it is next to you.
Half a mile! It's going to be fucking close.
You feel that those other 7 blokes have put all that training in for this challenge for you to just give up, and that's not going to happen. You're not going to do that, and that's not the way the Royal Marines works anyway. So
we're going to be so close. We're so close.
With a couple of 100 metres to the finish line, no doubt. How can you doubt? I know I'm going to be dragging and pushing people to that point. We're going to get that man over the line, 200 metres regardless.
There'll be a point where we need to dig from the very deepest of our reserves.
You're nearly there. You're nearly there. Come on, Max. You're going to do it. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Come on. To the end. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes now.
I'm certain that we will leave everything out on that tarmac and give everything that we possibly can.
Keep going. That's all right. You're all right. All the way in. Go on, Lee. Keep going.
We never leave a Royal Marine behind. We never leave any man behind.
Hang in there. Come on, mate. Keep going. Just hang in there. Just keep going. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. There's the finish. There's the finish line. Come on.
We're not renowned for giving up, Royal Marines. Nothing will ever stop us. And it's that resilience I've seen in this team. I'm in awe of these men.
Can we have a medic on this young man, please? Let's get a medic on him. We need a medic. We've got a medic. It's going back on the end. Official adjudicators to me, to weigh the kit and to do a time check.
When he stands up, remember his legs.
Lads, all your kit here. Lads, all your kit down, it needs to be weighed.
The race is done. Every man crossed the line. Mags dug deeper than he's ever dug before. But has it all been in vain? Have the Marines broken that world record they've been chasing for 5 years? The adjudicators are checking the watches.
Breathing, just breathing. Yeah, it's just what to say.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, ladies and gents, everybody close in, please. Having run with these guys today, I'm emotional. It's been 5 years of my life doing this, and these incredible guys and this amazing sport team, we've just had it ratified that they've broken the world record. Not only have they broken it, but we smashed it! That's enough for me, I can't speak anymore. Hey, Charlie.
Scotty's team had knocked 2 minutes and 24 seconds off the former world record. After 5 years of trying, including 2 heroic failures, they can at last claim victory. Or can they? The Marines were about to receive some shocking news. Guinness World Records refused to ratify their time. The reason? Believe it or not, they said they were wearing the wrong trousers. That they shouldn't have been in these modern standard issue trousers, but the same ones that were worn when the record was set 20 years ago. Those were known as military denims and have long been out of production. Scotty lodged an immediate appeal, but for him, this record is not about trousers, but the men wearing them.
I know, in our heart of hearts, that the boys have done the 26.2 miles, carrying 40 pounds of kit, broken the world record time, in good order, as a team, with their brothers by their side. What trousers we were wearing is irrelevant to me, but hopefully we will get this world record officially ratified by Guinness.